Greetings everyone, my name is Greg. In this video I am going to be answering some questions that were asked by the parents of one of my subscribers to them, and they couldn't answer these and became uncomfortable. So I am going to answer these as I would if this was asked to me. The first question is, where did life come from? The origin of life is not evolution, that is abiogenesis, and a good website that goes into abiogenesis will be in the description bar below. It is Talk Origins, and it goes into all of that. I'm going to try to keep this video as brief as I can. If you want to know more about abiogenesis, check Talk Origins. Man couldn't make trees or water, so who did? It is not a matter of who. It is the evolution of trees is like the evolution of all life, and that will also be mentioned and talked about in a website in the description bar below. Specifically on that is the evolution of plants. And it is something that if you're interested in knowing more about that, I would check out that as well. As far as water, the aspect of where this could have come from. One hypothesis is that the bacteria life first or originated with asteroids that hit the Earth. That same with water. That water could have been very easily frozen on asteroids or whatnot and hit the early Earth, depositing the water here. And the idea that water is unique to Earth is bullshit, because we have found water on at least the polar regions of Mars, as well as the one moon of Jupiter, Europa, is a water moon. The thing is with that is the distance it is from the sun, that it will not be, in a sense, liquid water. It's a frozen world because it's too far from the sun. The thing is, where there is water, there is potentially life. It's not a matter of a god being necessary. This is simply the way, in a sense, nature operates. Do you believe we are monkeys? We are primates. We are not monkeys. We have a common ancestor with the monkey, but we are not monkeys. We are primate. The DNA is obvious. There's about a 1% to 2% difference between human to primate, or human to monkey, better said. The thing is, all other aspects, 98 to 99% of our DNA is identical to the monkey and primate, because we are, in that aspect, primates. That's just the way it is. It's not trying to say that, in a sense, people are swinging from trees. No, we don't have the muscular structure for that, nor the bone thickness. We couldn't do what monkeys do, and conversely, they can't do what we can. It doesn't mean that we don't share a common ancestor. However, what do you call God? I call God a fantasy. I call God fiction. I call God bullshit. Well, who do you pray to if it's not God? I don't pray. I don't try looking to magical genies to grant my wishes. That is pompous. It is also showing the all for me and fuck you too of the believers regarding their God. They will treat their God like a genie in a bottle. That they will babble prayers, their wishes, to this God, but yet they will act as if the God is the all-powerful one and all-knowing and so forth. If this God is all-knowing and all that crap, then why do you have to open your stupid mouth? If it knows everything, then your having to say a damn thing would be evidence your God isn't all-knowing. Otherwise, it would already know what you're going to be wanting, and you shouldn't even have to say anything. It should already, if it's going to do it, it would have done it. If it's not going to do it, it's not going to happen. So you're praying about it or wishing for it. So what? It makes no sense. Why do you believe in love and not the biblical God? Because I can prove love exists, because I can see love demonstrated. I have no evidence that the biblical God exists, and the biblical God's behavior is not loving at all. In fact, it is the antithesis of love. You do not show love by threatening others. You do not show love by thought crime. You do not show love by threatening others. This is simply sadism. It is malicious. It's not loving in any capacity. And then they have the, I don't believe in atheists. Well, that's just stupid. Simply put, an atheist is simply someone that doesn't believe in the theistic claims. It's not saying a damn thing about belief or knowledge of a God. It is only a matter of the belief aspect. Do you believe in a God? No. You're an atheist. Cut and dry. The aspect of do you know if there's a God? That is Gnostic to agnostic. The Gnostic will claim that they have knowledge of, while agnostic says, I don't know. And in that regard, I have said I'm an agnostic, atheist, anti-theist. I don't know if there is a God or not, but I don't believe that there is a God. And the anti-theist is I am opposed to the dictatorial, theistic type of God. The idea of a God as a genie in a bottle. I find that very notion to be arrogant, pompous. It's not about belief in a magical being as much as it is stroking your own ego. Then there is the statement that her aunt had said, you can't just be a good person, you have to believe Jesus exists. This is bullshit. I am going to be doing a series of interviews with an expert on Judaism. The first one will be tomorrow. And we will be talking about the idea of Jesus and as well as Judaism as in general. So the idea that you have to believe Jesus existed, bullshit. Jews don't. And Jews, according to Torah and the Tanakh, the Jews were the chosen people of this God. Christians are trying to ride the coattails of Judaism. And the interviews that I'm going to be doing with the expert on Judaism will firmly establish that Christianity is not in line with Judaism. That there are far more differences than the disbelief in Jesus. There are, to use the term, fundamental differences, massive differences, that Christians do not understand the Jewish Torah and Tanakh, as well as the Talmud. So they misunderstand what is written in those to try and twist it into being according to what they want. Well, what they want is bullshit. It's not real. And the idea that you have to believe in a Jesus, no, you don't. That is simply false. Then The person's aunt said this with a smile. Don't worry, I pray for you every day, so I know you aren't going to a dark place. This shows the sadistic fantasies of Christians. The thing is, we're all going to a dark place, ultimately. It's called the grave. It's called death. You can't sidestep your own mortality. And the fact that you're going to the grave. You're going to die. It will happen. Your belief in a Jesus will not matter. Your belief in a God will not matter. You're going to die. Deal with it. It doesn't mean there is a hell. There is no such thing. In fact, if you go into the Old Testament, the Jewish Torah and Tanakh, the word hell was Sheol, which was simply the grave. That's a dark place. The grave. There's nothing to be afraid of with it. It's not a matter of being tortured. That's impossible. After the physical body is dead, the central nervous system is dead. So there would be no pain or pleasure. And not to mention the aspect of this bullshit hell. Fire is a chemical reaction of physical elements maintained by physical oxygen. The aspect, even if there would be an energy form that would live on, fire would no more hurt that than spraying a ghost with a squirt gun would make it wet. It is simply sadistic fantasy bullshit. Then God allows bad things, but you don't know where people's souls go. That is simply stupid. It is also making your God into the biggest sadist on the planet, or in all of fiction. Because the idea, and I had heard that, I think it was William Lane Craig, had said that Lawrence Krauss quoted it in a debate that they had, where William Lane Craig had said about the Canaanite children, well, the children that were killed, well, they're with God, so they're in heaven. So that's what makes it okay. It raises the question of, and I'm not sure if William Lane Craig actually said, if he did, it's very fucked up, but that with 9/11, that the children and so forth that were killed in the towers that fell, well, they're in heaven. Or the people that died, well, they're in heaven now. That's sick. To try and whitewash a tragedy that happens with fantasies of an afterlife. It's downright sick. It shows how these people do not value life. They value death. Their interest is in fantasies, not in what is. They want to live in a fantasy world of their own making and absolutely devalue life, all in favor of their fantasy bullshit. It's sickening. These people should be ashamed of themselves. Then you need faith. Faith is delusional disorder. Cut and dry. Faith is a firm belief or conviction in something to which there is no evidence. Delusional disorder is a firm belief or conviction in something not only despite evidence to the contrary, but in spite of evidence to the contrary. It's the same with faith. The two are identical. You don't need faith with, to use the term, the messianic criteria. It's either the person either fits the criteria, they fit the job description, or they don't. No faith needed. And if you want to go by your stupid fucking Jesus, the only faith that was required was in the magical acts that he would do, which he had said, if you believe in him, everything he said he did, you will do and more. So Christians, where are the dead that you have raised? Where are the blind that you have given sight back to? Where are the lame that you have given and healed? Prove it. Either pony up the evidence of you being able to do everything your Jesus did, or admit your Jesus is a fucking liar. Your choice. But then they had to have, but it was a good discussion. It would be if this was asked to me. They wouldn't like it. They wouldn't be sitting there with smiles, acting like they'd torn apart another child. They would be very pissed. Because I'd be tearing the wheels right out, and tearing the legs right out from under their religion. Which is what I'm going to be doing with the interviews with the expert on Judaism. Is ripping the legs right out from under Christianity. Their Jesus is a house of cards. It's not a matter of being about morals or doing what is good. It is all about thought crime and manipulation, intimidation, scapegoating. It is absolutely immoral. But I will say it again, as I said in my video, Losing My Faith. If your parents are religious and it is not safe for you to let them know that you don't believe in God, don't tell them right away. In a sense, it is as dangerous with some religious parents to come out as an atheist as it is to come out as a homosexual. So it's one, you may want to bide your time and wait until you're not living under their roof to come out to them and say, oh yeah, by the way, I don't believe in your God. Because then when you're not living under the roof with them, you're not subject to their bullshit. They might not like it. And it could get as bad as they could disown you, and for as bad as that would be, I would look at it and be, that's their choice. It's not what I would choose, but that's the choice they made. You can't control someone else. All you can do is control how you react. And I would say, no matter how negatively your parents could react, doesn't mean you have to react negatively. It doesn't mean you have to display the same negative to sadistic behaviors that they do. But I hope this helps. And I am going to be doing the interview with the expert on Judaism tomorrow, and that should be an interesting discussion. And like I said, that will be the first in a series, because there's a bunch of things that I want to talk to him about. But talk to you later, people. Feel free to leave your comments below.